Hello everyone. I kinda had a moment of realization lately that I've basically been just putting all of the, newly found leaks on my community posts and legit completely forgetting to actually make videos on them. Right. Because that's what I used to do. I used to basically have all my videos just completely based on leaks. However, lately a lot of them have been opinion based, so I kind of apologize for that. It wasn't even really on purpose. I was just going with the flow and I basically kind of forgot. So in today's video, I will just be covering directly a few leaks of stuff we know upcoming that may be interesting to a few of you. So let's start off with some QOL that we're receiving in 3.7 HSR. To start us off, some of you may know of this ticket currency that you get if you're a returnee if you've taken a long enough break from the game. And this ticket currency was worth 10 resin or 10 trailblaze power per ticket, and you could use them to instantly farm calyxes, right? I don't know if they work on relics or not. It's been a long time since I myself have been able to experience this event. However, I know guaranteed you can use it to auto farm calyxes without you needing to actually play the game. In one of the new weekly resetting modes coming in 3.7, we will be able to obtain 100 of these every single weekly reset, which is really nice, right? That's 1,000 trailblaze power worth of just free instant farming, around 4 days, a little more than that of trailblaze power. Just a massive W. However, another thing alongside this that is also probably the bigger QOL of the two here is that we are now going to be able to just max out the daily trailblaze power for whatever we're farming. So for those who don't really, know, maybe you don't play the game that much, basically the max amount of trailblaze power you can use in one instance in this game is 60, right? So if, let's say, you're farming relics or you're farming calyxes, you can at max use 60 trailblaze power, and even though you can make your characters auto it, you will have to be there to click the reset button to use another 60 trailblaze power and initiate another battle. Now you'll be able to just use all 240 of your trailblaze daily power instantly. You can put it on auto and you don't need to be there to actually click a button and keep it resetting. It'll just all do it by itself, making the daily farming for this game much cleaner and even more convenient than it already was. So two QOLs that help with farming, and this 240 trailblaze power one personally is going to be pretty big for me, right? Now this is where we get into the big boy leaks for upcoming characters in version 4. So you guys know the two main ones we've known for a while now are both Yai Sakura and as well as Hanabi. There's been a few, questionable leaks on a few other characters, however, not really too reliable, so I personally didn't cover it. However, we now have actual leaks that are kinda reliable, right? They come from a source who is basically never wrong, very good reputation, and they've named like a lot of SPs here, right? So to start us off in 4.0, like it's already been leaked previously, we will have Hanabi. This one isn't really surprising. The same way Aglaya was kind of like an introductory character to Remembrance, it seems that Hanabi will be the introductory character to Elation. After this, in 4.1, supposedly we are getting La Mancha, a Galaxy Ranger. Now, I didn't even know who the fuck this was as a story skipper. However, it turns out that this is actually a very like lore relevant character. They're actually the leader of the Galaxy Rangers. So that's actually really interesting, and they will probably be bait. I know, right? we're so far away. I'm already calling this character bait, but they're one patch after Hanabi, and they're one patch before the anniversary with Yai Sakura, so you can't get mad at me, right? After this, supposedly in 4.2, we will have Yai Sakura, and this is a pretty big one, kind of coming out of left field, Silver Wolf SP. So Yai Sakura and Silver Wolf will be our version 4 anniversary characters. And supposedly, the path leaked for this new Silver Wolf is Erudition. So, I don't know how that's gonna look. I'm really used to just current Silver Wolf and her animations and her being a nihility. So I'm actually quite excited and very interested in how they'll treat her animations and gameplay wise. Of course, I will say this. I think she might be bait. Everybody around the anniversary character is bait, surprise, surprise. However, if you like the character, just go for him, right? I personally hope that maybe she may be able to synergize with my Anoxa. I think that's really cope, and there's a higher chance she synergizes with the Herda. However, we'll end up seeing. After this, for 4.3, we have the long-awaited Blade SP. I have like one commenter on my channel where whenever I like upload random community posts, they're like a Blade's #1 fan commenting like, oh, okay, when are we gonna get Blade information that's like actually reliable? So here you go. 4.3 should apparently have Blade SP, which is pretty interesting, right? Blade is one of my favorite characters in the game. I love characters that just look badass in Aura Farm. Complete sucker for them. However, I don't know if I'll fall for the bait again, right? After this, they say that the two other SPs that they aren't really sure what patch they will fall on, but should be in Edo Star, are Robin SP and as well as Aventurine SP. Now, for those wondering why I keep saying SP, I don't actually know what it really stands for. I'm just going to assume it means separate person, despite the fact that they're related to the original character. So basically just new version of Blade, new version of Silver Wolf, new version of Robin, new version of Aventurine, yada yada yada. So we have a lot of SPs in Edo Star, it seems, more than I think we've ever had before. Now technically, if you also account for High 3, then, you know, Amphorius is actually basically on the exact same level. However, this is still like pretty large amount, and this isn't even including the other half of Edo Star. I mean, that is, if there's another half, I don't know. I thought they'd maybe continue the tradition of making Planet's entire version long, similar to Amphorius. However, maybe that's not the case. Maybe we'll get like Penacony treatment kinda with Edo Star, and it'll be more of a short-lived planet instead of a long-lived one, right? So that is, I believe, everything I have for you all. Oh, wait. There's one other leak I actually remember. Anon Leaks, I believe, is their name. Anon Leaks. They were either joking around or hinting at the possibility that Sparkle would be a best-in-slot support in Hanabi's team. They basically just said a leak like, wouldn't it be funny if Sparkle was best in slot for Hanabi? So take this how you will. They aren't really declaring anything or confirming anything. However, this could possibly be a hint that they're giving that Sparkle will be best in slot for Hanabi. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. It's the Elation path. Aha literally can do whatever the fuck he wants, so long as he finds it funny. And this would be pretty funny, right? Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.